Listen to me, leaders aren't born, leaders are made, and the making of a leader doesn't start when the spotlight's on them. It doesn't start when the world is clapping for them. It starts in the mirror. You want to know why real leaders look in the mirror? Because the mirror never lies. The mirror will tell you the truth that people are too afraid to tell you. The mirror will remind you of the work you didn't put in, the discipline you lacked, the excuses you made. And real leaders, they don't run from that truth. They face it every single day. See, anybody can point fingers. Anybody can blame the team, blame the circumstances, blame the economy, blame their family. But real leaders, they don't do that. They wake up, they stand in front of that glass, and they ask one question: what do I need to change? Not what do they need to change, not what do they need to fix. The question is, what do I need to do differently to be better? When you look in the mirror, you find accountability. That reflection is telling you, stop waiting on somebody else, stop waiting on a handout, stop waiting for perfect conditions. If you want the results, you gotta be the one to change. That's what leadership is. It starts with you before it ever spreads to anybody else. And let me tell you this, the people you lead, they're not following your words, they're following your reflection. If you're lazy, they'll see it. If you cut corners, they'll see it. If you're all talk and no grind, they'll see it. But when you look in that mirror every morning and say, I'm holding myself to a higher standard, they'll feel that energy. They'll see the grind, they'll see the consistency, they'll see the discipline, and that's what inspires people. So I don't care what kind of leader you say you are. I don't care about your title, your position, or how many people call you boss. The real test of leadership is in the mirror. If you don't like what you see, change it. If you're not proud of that reflection, build it into something you can respect. Because when you can look yourself in the eye every day and know you gave everything, that's when you're a real leader. Stop pointing fingers, stop blaming, stop waiting. Step in front of the mirror, face the truth, and lead yourself first. Because only then can you lead others. Listen to me carefully, the mirror never lies. It doesn't care about your excuses, it doesn't care about your feelings, it doesn't care about how tired you are, how unfair life has been, or how much you think you deserve. The mirror only reflects the truth. When you stand in front of it, you can't hide. It will show you who you are, not who you pretend to be, not who you tell the world you are, but who you really are when the lights are off and no one is watching. And that's why real leaders look in the mirror every single day, because the mirror is the ultimate accountability partner. Think about it. When you fall short, when you skip that extra rep, when you decide to sleep in instead of chasing your goals, the mirror is waiting. And when you look at it, you know deep down whether you gave your best or whether you cut corners. Most people avoid the mirror. They don't want to see the truth. They'd rather point fingers, make excuses, or distract themselves. But leaders run to it because they understand this. If you don't confront the truth, you can't change it. You can't grow. You can't become who you're destined to be. The mirror doesn't exist to shame you. It exists to challenge you. It asks you, are you proud of what you see? And if the answer is no, then the responsibility is yours to do something about it. When you wake up and look in that glass, you've got two choices. You can avoid your reflection and keep living in denial, or you can stare straight at yourself and say, today, I'm going to be better than yesterday. That's the beauty of the mirror. It gives you a chance every single morning to reset, to recommit, to rise up. Let me make it plain. The mirror doesn't lie, but it also doesn't lock you in. If you don't like what you see, change it. If you don't respect what's staring back at you, build yourself into someone you can respect. The mirror gives you clarity. It doesn't care about yesterday's failures. It only reflects who you are right now and who you're becoming. That's why real leaders don't fear the mirror. They embrace it. They let it fuel them. They use it as a reminder that greatness starts within. Before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. Before you can demand excellence from a team, you have to demand it from the person staring back at you. So stop hiding, stop running, stop making excuses, face that reflection and own it, because the mirror never lies. And if you're brave enough to face the truth, It will push you toward becoming the leader you were born to be. Everybody wants to wear the crown of leadership, but few want to carry the weight that comes with it. And let me tell you, leadership isn't about titles, positions, or how loud you can talk. Real leadership starts with one thing: accountability. See, the easiest thing in the world is to point fingers. It's easy to say, my team let me down, or the system failed, or the conditions weren't right. That's what average people do. They pass the blame, they dodge responsibility, and they act like victims of circumstances. But leaders take ownership. Leaders look at a situation, even when it's not their fault, and ask, what could I have done better? What can I change? That's what separates a leader from everyone else. Because accountability is about owning the outcome, whether it's success or failure. When things go right, a leader gives credit to the team. But when things go wrong, a leader takes the hit, looks in the mirror, and asks how they can adjust. That's strength, that's integrity, that's leadership, and here's the truth. If you're not accountable to yourself, you'll never be accountable to others. You can't demand excellence from people if you're not practicing excellence in your own life. You can't ask your team to grind harder if you're hitting the snooze button every morning. People don't follow words, they follow actions. Accountability isn't just about admitting mistakes. It's about living as an example. When you hold yourself accountable, you set a standard. You say to the world, I don't make excuses. I don't blame. I take full ownership of my choices. And when people see that, they respect it. They might not always like you, but they'll trust you. And leadership without trust, that's not leadership at all. But let's be real, accountability is hard. It means swallowing your pride. It means admitting that maybe you weren't disciplined enough, maybe you didn't prepare enough, maybe you didn't give 100%. And that's tough because it forces you to confront your own weaknesses. But listen, weakness isn't the problem. Denial is the problem. Excuses are the problem. Accountability, that's the cure. Think about the leaders you admire. What makes them stand out? It's not perfection. It's responsibility. They don't hide when things fall apart. They step up. They say, put it on me. And because they own it, they grow. Because they own it, their people grow. Accountability builds trust, and trust builds teams that can overcome anything. So here's the challenge. Before you start pointing at others, point at yourself. Before you start criticizing your team, evaluate your own effort. Stop asking, why aren't they doing their part? And start asking, am I doing mine? Because the moment you hold yourself accountable, that's the moment you step into real leadership. Leadership doesn't start with commanding others. It starts with commanding yourself. And accountability is the foundation of it all. Listen to me. People hear what you say, but they believe what you do. You can stand on a stage, you can give the best speech, you can write down the perfect plan, but at the end of the day, people don't follow your words. They follow your actions. That's why real leaders lead by example. If you're telling your team to wake up early, but you're still in bed when the sun comes up, guess what? They see that. If you're telling people to push past their limits, but you quit when things get tough, they see that too. You can't hide. Leadership is not just about talking. It's about walking the walk. See, actions have a different kind of power. Words inspire for a moment, but actions inspire for a lifetime. Think about it when you see someone grinding day in and day out, showing up early, staying late, refusing to quit. You feel that energy. It's contagious. You want to match that level. But if all you ever hear is talk, eventually you stop listening. Because talk without action is empty, and here's the truth. Your reflection is the loudest message you'll ever preach. People are watching you even when you don't realize it. They're watching how you respond when pressure comes. They're watching how you handle failure. They're watching whether you cut corners when no one's around. And when they see consistency, discipline, and integrity in your actions, they don't just hear your message, they believe it. That's why leadership requires sacrifice. You don't just get to do what feels good. You have to do what's necessary. You have to model the behavior you want from others. If you want a team that's committed, you've got to show commitment. If you want people who don't quit, you've got to show them what perseverance looks like. Leadership is not do as I say, it's watch what I do. Now, let me keep it real with you. This is why some leaders fail. They've got all the talk, all the charisma, all the inspiration, but no action to back it up. And when people realize that, they stop following because no one wants to be led by hypocrisy. People want to be led by someone who lives the standard they demand. And here's the best part. When you lead through action, you don't even have to say much. Your consistency will speak louder than any speech. Your grind will speak louder than any lecture. Your example will pull people to rise to a higher standard without you even opening your mouth. So don't get it twisted. Real leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the clearest example in the room. People might forget what you say, but they will never forget what you do. Stop talking about it and start being about it. Because in the end, leadership isn't proven by your words. It's proven by your walk.